childhood, growing and developing years of a person, this is meant to be a highly important time to create morals, fundamentals, and skills necessary to be a success. Instead, the trauma CPS creates in these young minds set a path of disaster, and statistics prove it. In nearly 90% of their cases, the trauma is unnecessary. Time is the one thing that can never be given back. CPS takes away moments in life that can't be replaced. The time just keeps going, doesn't mean a thing anymore. They left as children, and it's up to them when they come home if they know who you are. Each second away is time you will never get back and keep getting older.
Studies are leading towards incarceration.
Now comes the honorable judge in the halls of justice, where the Constitution will hold strong, and your rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness will trample CPS for all they have done to your child.
The truth and corruption that's revealed to you is enough to make you sick. This is not America we were sold. Children are being taken from families at the rate of one a minute. It needs to be stopped.
It's time to wake up and abolish CPS.
Echo in the dark, truth sharp as obsidian. Cut through the lies, corruption, graffiti, and titanium. Snakes in the swamps think they swim in slick amphibians. Constitution blades, we carve through their oblivion. Cash for kids, now we light that scam ablaze. Traitors in the shadows, lost in their twisted maze. Snatch the gavel back, justice in the people's gaze. Breaking chains with syllables, watch the system rephrase. Leave the kids alone, no pawns in your schemes. We the watchdogs, waking up your daydreams. Cleaning out swamps, revolution streams. Truth prevails, echo shatters corrupt regimes. Battle cry loud, iron fist hit the drums. Villains meet their end, chaos comes from crumbs. The Constitution roars, amplifies our tongues. Flood the dungeons with light, purge the system scum. No deals under the table, transparency our grind. Greedy claws cracked, vultures out of time. We armor injustice, front line redefined. Dirty waters purified, the movement intertwined. Leave the kids alone, no pawns in your schemes. We the watchdogs, waking up your daydreams. Cleaning out swamps, revolution streams. Truth prevails, echo shatters corrupt regimes. No deals under the table, transparency our grind. Greedy claws cracked, vultures out of time. We armor injustice, front line redefined. Dirty waters purify, the movement intertwines. Cap. What? Leave the kids alone, no pawns in your schemes. We the watchdogs, waking up your daydreams. Cleaning out swamps, revolution streams. Truth prevails, echo shatters corrupt regimes.
Good evening. Little news today. Um, ahead of Doge looking into Title 4D Social Security account information, specifically the Federal Parent Locator Service, which houses the data of the income of more than God knows how many parents who are on child support paying wage garnishment, which means they have hooked our freedom up to a machine. And there's some fraudulent things going on there, so I'm sure Doge will be looking into that. Ahead of that, they are Molotov cocktailing the Tesla manufacturing plants. They're painting swastikas on Teslas, and they've sent him death threats. They've told him if he doesn't stop looking into this, they're going to kill him. No sweeping this under the rug anymore. So you could probably rest assured that Title 4E will be next, and I'm sure the cuts will be massive on a lot of this. However, they can only affect them economically. We're going to have to be the ones that sanction them judicially, because nobody else is going to do it. Look, the Department of Justice is attorneys. They can only help you so far as you bring a claim to them, right? But you know, that's claims against states, other things like that. So as for CPS, it appears that Governor Mills has decided once again to go against presidential order, and I believe she continued to allow men to play in women's sports. So she's not going to be getting any funding. In fact, she's been turned in. I've turned her in because I believe her CPS organization be defunct and corrupt. So I went ahead and taken the initiative to turning her in myself to both Doge and the president, so they're well aware. This is not going to go unchecked. So today I'd like to start off by saying child support, Title 4D across this country, I'm shutting you down. Your doors will close. Why will your doors close? I got a little something for you. Now, you're obligated to follow the Constitution, because I went ahead and looked it up, even you attorneys. So don't sit here and tell us the Constitution doesn't apply in your court because you're incorrect. I have the information that proves you're incorrect. As a matter of fact, Minnesota Supreme Court case, before we get into that, okay, because I know the claim will come up. Article 4, Section 1 of the United States Constitution says that the judicial proceedings in one state are applicable in all other states, especially the Supreme Court proceedings. But Congress shall make and establish the rules by which those are evidence. And the Supreme Court rules in one state are applicable in all other states due to the United States Code saying that. Okay. So that authorizes this. Okay, and you're obligated by the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution to listen to this if you're in family court and you're one of these corrupt officials. Minnesota Supreme Court case Holmberg versus Holmberg ruled the administrative child support process to be unconstitutional for violating the separation of powers doctrine. Nebraska, Drennan versus Drennan. Child support administrative process was found unconstitutional because it violated the separation of powers doctrine. That's two. And then we're gonna go again. New York. I'm gonna mark down that case law too. In New York, they found a child support process to violate the Constitution because of it taking your driver's license, which is not why now in New York you have the defense to your driver's license being taken. So that's three. Santosky versus Kramer states that there's no unfit parent standard, which came out of the Bar Association as a way to remove any way to affect your rights. As soon as you're deemed a non-custodial parent, you immediately lose all right to see your child. You just completely become a ward of the state. And Santosky versus Kramer said even in a contested court proceeding, if the judge removes your rights, you still have constitutionally protected parental rights. Okay? And in Washington versus Glucksberg and Troxel versus Granville, 2 Supreme Court cases paired together to say the same thing, 3 years apart. The parents have a right to direct the care, custody, upbringing, and education and medical aspects of their human offspring. And there's a Supreme Court case that says that fathers have the right to choose the religion of the human offspring. Okay? So, and then we're going to continue. It goes down into Marbury versus Madison. An unconstitutional law is void. Miranda versus Arizona. A constitutional right cannot be converted into a crime. And then we have Norton versus Shelby County. An unconstitutional law is wholly unconstitutional in its entirety from the beginning, as if it was never passed. No courts are bound to enforce it. No citizens are bound to obey it. It is a mere nullity and does not exist in the legal system. Title 4D, you're done. All right, so I'd like to bring on some guests tonight. If any of y'all would like to come on now.
Hello, Alcina. Hello, everyone. Hello,
This is
Obsidian.
Jonathan, Canada.
Yes.
You go ahead, take it away, buddy.
Okay. Well, I'm from Canada. Jonathan Wilson from Mississauga, General Toronto area. And I have to say, from part of my story, they have actually used the bill of attainder on me 2 times, and most likely a 3rd time without even saying. They've hacked my phone, hacked my computer, my laptop.
Bill of attainder, that's taking you in without a trial and just arresting you and imprisoning you, correct?
Not only that, they like to torture you before they send people out to arrest you and kill you and make you disappear.
Wow.
And all without a trial or court. It literally allows them to bypass the whole court system. And I know over there and here, they have a tendency to use that to threaten police and all the way up to the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And yes, they've actually in the court itself literally told me or literally mentioned to me that the deep state pilgrim that they think they're involved. Yeah, they sent last year 12, 13 police cars to me.
So under what I'm gathering here is that the deep state fled the United States.
Actually, this is also deep state Canada stuff. Also,
Okay.
MK Ultra was involved here in Canada as well.
Yes, yep, that is correct. I happen to know that's why in the United States marijuana was illegal for so long, is because they experimented on Canadians with it to try to do some form of mind control along with a bunch of other psychedelic substances. And that's why they made it illegal, because they didn't want the American people to know that their taxpayer money was funding this foreign operation on Canadian soil. That is correct.
Yes, and more mind control stuff. What victims have put out on YouTube as well. As well as there's a podcast with a victim that identifies Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Trudeau, as to be a member of MK Ultra. So Justin Trudeau actually had an issue way in the past when he was a teacher with a student, and he had to solve it himself. My guess is something to do with MK Ultra, possibly.
Not for Canada.
And just like his father, the way he raised Justin Trudeau, most likely all with manipulation to do what he has done today, and to and the bad actors behind Canada's situation that they almost are going bankrupt. That is CAS and foster parents. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, they're doing it in Australia and Britain too.
Yes.
New Zealand. All these EU countries. Why? What are they planning?
Well,
what do they want with
Trudeau,
our children?
I know, try to put himself on the God level here in Canada, and that's typical of the totalitarian mass psychosis.
Well, the first thing they do is come for your weapons.
Well, pretty much one of the few things they did here first was censor people's freedom of speech and all that.
Yep, they tried to do it here. It didn't work.
Manipulate the minds of people through the media.
It didn't work here.
And standard, they actually are already threatening everyone with a bill of attainder just by that it's given to them to use on everybody they want. And they've been deliberately making the people dumber so that they can rise in power, and most likely that they can manipulate the people's minds
through the food and water,
and so that and to prevent the people from rising up against them.
Monsanto Corporation, that's somebody to look out for.
Yes.
What do you think about, okay, I must ask a Canadian. I'm fascinated with this. What do you think about Trump's declaration of Canada as the 51st state? I must hear this.
To be honest, I'm not against it. I'm not pro that either.
Just what do you think about it?
But
I'm against it. I think Canada should remain sovereign.
It would be nice if Canada could remain sovereign.
But then again, when we do get a new state, the state does keep the sovereignty. So we do have that.
Yes.
I don't know.
But the way
I think that would be up to Canada.
The way the situation is right now, if Trump would have to go, because it's all connected with each other, all the child protection here in Canada, it's called CAS, and you have foster parents. They're all
CFS, DFS, DCS. Yeah, there's always some.
Yes, they're all connected, and especially CAS and foster parents, they both have the bill of attainder.
That's all. Those are all corporate charters. Those are all corporate. Yeah, those are definitely all corporate charters. I'm wondering You could probably find them on the Bloomberg terminal. You could probably find them on. There's another thing where you can look up where they float a lot of bonds. They float a lot of bonds. They make government bonds. They make unauthorized bonds on people's names. They make it seem like Social Security is this account you pay into until a certain date, and then you get paid back what you paid in. But really, it comes back to you every year in taxes. You're not paying into anything. It's just a line of credit that you're setting up with the United States government. That's all that it is. And when you go into debt, you become a debtor. You don't know how to exercise your position as a creditor. You come in, you don't dispute the instrument, right? Like legally speaking. But with your situation, they don't even give you that. They just snatch you up and take you off to some clandestine location and like rough you up really bad. And
that's what they tried doing with me. That's what they tried doing with me. They sent 12, 13
that's the
police cars. About
how many?
say 24 police officers to make me disappear. Well, good idea.
That's
I'm going to have one too. By the way, this is for Vinny. I promised someday I'd send Vinny one of these. But yeah, I can absolutely say it's not only deep state, it's also the government itself. The government itself, in my situation, works against you. They've stopped me from finding work. They messed up with my electricity. I have a stone tumbling machine here. Normally, it should work here on the Canadian electricity. They're not working properly because they messed up with the electricity too.
I'll put it this way. Donald Trump put an executive order in his first presidency in place against international trafficking and exchange of children. We halted all non-legitimate intergovernmental adoptions and all that stuff.
Well,
and then Javier Becerra got to take a hold of our American shit, and that's where we got messed up. Is that
in the past couple of years, actually, even CAS made a statement that if I'm not careful, they'd take the children and make them disappear, that I would never see them ever again.
Oh, they told you that too?
They literally told me that.
Yeah, they literally got me in a parking lot and said, yeah, if you don't sign this, you'll go to prison and you'll never see your son again. If you sign it and don't do what we say, you'll never see your son again and you'll go to prison. They said the same thing. That's what these people are.
Yeah.
They're intergovernmental child traffickers. And they're going down now. At least
Absolutely.
Here. At least here.
Well, if I can't get my complaint in about that stuff to
hey,
I got
you can't miss. I'm right. They could take me out anytime. They can't miss me. I'm right here where the lakes are at.
Let's just say they know where I live too. But anyway, my message to Trump is: you've seen me now. You know who I am. I asked my question to remove the bill of attainder twice. One during your first term, one during and now during the second term with you guys here, Mr. President. So I was also the one that told Mr. Trump that Children's Aid was misusing the bill of attainder and all that, and has weaponized.
Was it Canada? Did Canada do it?
I've told Trump from here. Well, not personally.
Or is it from us? If it's from us, yeah, then yeah.
But it was through like a chat message on one of the one of the internet things. But I'm pretty much who told Trump that children's aid was weaponized.
Yeah. They've been doing this for 60 years. They've been plotting and planning this and coming up. Yeah. Yep.
I was told even before I was born.
Yep. But we put a squash to it, bro. It was gonna be big, but now too many people know for them to pull it off, so they got to pull back.
So it's now also not really useful for me to do that email then.
Not necessarily. That's probably why he went after Trudeau as bad as he did. He was probably like, you can't even deal with your own people.
Sure
you can't even deal. You know what I mean? He was going
sure
at him.
I'm sure that he went after Trudeau.
Because I also heard about what they were doing in Canada, where they were saying parents don't have any rights. And basically we're saying that the schools get to tell you and dictate. I'm like, whoa. And this is a transgender person telling me that. I'm like,
okay.
Whoa. So after we got hit with it, it came over your way.
Actually, either it came from the United States to Canada or Canada to the United States. But also in 2018 or 19,
it's crazy.
Because of me, it went to Holland as well. The attainder thing.
Oh man.
And yes, they do violate people's rights, and they refuse to acknowledge that.
That's some one world government stuff. You be careful, dude.
Like I say, the whole problem, they refuse to, due to the liberal government, that was Trudeau and that, they're refusing to, they've always here in Canada have been trying to censor and violate the Charter of Rights, trying to cancel things out.
That seems to be the going rate. Here in the United States, our family court system violates the 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, the 13th, sometimes the 11th, and the 14th and 16th Amendments.
Yeah. Anyway,
and
I can say
by using the Bill of Attainder, it puts back the law too.
By using the Bill of Attainder and even just having it in their possession, they're by standard. By using it, they're in violation of all of the rights, all of them.
Yep.
And just by threatening, they're violating the right of safety by default.
That's correct.
And yeah, they tried to make me disappear, but they didn't count on others having crimes held against me that they had to investigate. So in that way, when they came to my door, I flipped the script.
You could always request asylum. Remember that.
I'll remember that. But I feel like since I'm Canadian-born here in Canada, that I do have to fight here in Canada for the better future of our children and our children's children and so on.
You have to fight for Canada. I get it. I know. Yeah. But just know that the United States is going through it too, and we're these family organizations are not for your family. I don't know what they're doing.
Absolutely true. They're weaponized by the government against families.
Maybe they're harvesting them. I don't know what they're doing, where they're taking the children, whether it's for money. But I know it's worldwide, and I know it's a problem.
Yeah. And on True North Transparency, he had a video out there on that children's aid foster parents, or those people that 2,000 children went missing. 1,500 children ran away, and 500 children with families went off the radar.
In 2023, No, what was it?
2023 or 2024? I believe it was
In
2024.
2024, the United States lost track of almost it was something close to 800 and something thousand, 800 and. But between foster care and adoption and foreign immigrant children, that's how many children our government lost to the hands of international child traffickers. On top of parts of our
It is
government
a
being
lot.
complicit in the behavior.
Yes. But I'm pretty sure because of the border stuff that Trump is doing is also because of this child trafficking to put them in a corner.
Look under Paris,
think,
France.
I'm actually pretty sure that Trump's saying fentanyl, that is actually what he is meaning with the child trafficking that CAS has been doing.
The thing is that fentanyl is made by was made originally by American pharmaceutical companies. How did MS-13 get their hands on it?
That is a good question. I just also know
that would be because the government gave it to them.
Yeah.
And before anybody ever says they wouldn't do that, yes, they would.
Absolutely.
Yes, the hell the CIA would.
Like I say, here in Canada, I believe by British Columbia, there were a couple of big fentanyl labs that they rolled up. One could kill 3 times. Canada had the stuff for that.
Wow.
But since my experience with the stuff here, I'm pretty sure the government is involved with that as well, just for the money and all
that. Is that close to British Columbia?
I know they knew about that stuff. They knew about children being taken from hospitals. They literally told me that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They knew about the stuff that's happening your way.
Yeah.
The only problem is they did nothing.
We locked it down, though. We're good.
I'm glad to hear that you guys are locking it down.
Yeah. Previous administration didn't like the fact that we were building a wall, and they used the judicial system to target to stop that, and they sued the man 60 times, and the only time any charges stuck was, I think, like once or twice.
Okay.
They said he had 60 felonies. None. He was not convicted for any of that. So no, he didn't have that many felonies. They're wrong. But, it's, the left-wing media, it's going to be out there doing the same thing it always does.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's interesting. Same thing happened in Germany.
Yeah.
During World War II.
I mean, same thing. Trudeau tried to do the same thing as Adolf Hitler did.
In a sense, without killing everybody, but basically killing everybody's rights, yeah.
Yeah. He did that in order to put himself as the head, to be the dictator of Canada. He tried to make communist Canada. Or Nazi Canada, as you would call it.
Socialist.
Well, what they call actually what has been done with that attainder thing, and what Trudeau did, is a totalitarian mass psychosis. And I've even seen that Jordan Peterson, he gets it wrong with call it authoritarian instead of totalitarian.
Yes. Here's the thing about Justin Trudeau. I remember when he first started out. I remember when he was making them books on the internet back in the 80s and 90s. And he was selling them books on the internet about how to get rich quick and all this stuff.
I was already out of Canada, and I lived in Holland most likely during that time.
And that's likely how he got so much money to be able to run his political campaign. Interesting.
Yes, and
Yeah,
most likely
I
stole
remember
stuff from his
where it
father.
started.
He has the knowledge from his father.
But they were doing a euthanizing thing, man. I got some information on that. But it's on my YouTube channel.
Okay, well, Finney has my email.
It's just Mr. Obsidian 8009.
Okay. I know Finney can send that through to me.
Probably. But I'd have to get the specific video, but it goes into, look up Alan Dulles and Robert Dulles. Dulles.
Google?
Yeah. Robert Dulles and CIA. Put the word
Robert
CIA in it.
Dulles, D-O...
Dulles. And you're going to find it. You'll find what I'm talking about. If you look deep enough.
Robert Dulles, CIA. Okay. Alan?
That's the one. The trickster.
Yeah, I believe I've heard of that one.
The head of Project MK Ultra.
Yeah. Anyway, I also seen, as I said, the victim podcast on YouTube, what they had on YouTube of the victim of Pierre Trudeau, the father of Justin Trudeau. And she was molested by Pierre as a child. The only thing,
there we go.
the only thing MK Ultra didn't allow Pierre to do with that child victim was killing her. Pierre Trudeau always wanted to kill a child.
I wonder if it got in connection to Epstein. I wonder.
Well, apparently Carney has certain ties with the Epsteins, according to the photos that have been published. I did send a couple. I believe I tried to send a couple of emails with those pictures.
Yeah. Yep. Social service agencies. Yep.
Yeah. And
that's how they're trafficking people. They're snagging them from the social service worker.
Trust me, they have everybody working for them. They've been, as I said, they hacked my phone, hacked my computer. They're tracking me through that.
I can only help legally, man.
Yeah, well, like I say,
well,
only
in
Trump
my
probably
country,
can.
but you know what? I'll work on it.
There's one thing Trump can do. There's one thing I know Trump can do, and I know they're going to do they started the election today here in Canada, but Trump can put all that children's CPS stuff under the Pierre Poilievre's. You can show it to him, and then Pierre would have to do something about it.
Right.
Here in Canada. Pierre is one that could cooperate with Trump. They're on the same wavelength with thinking.
Gotcha.
And Trudeau is, say, on the same wavelength as the ones who mess. Yes.
Yeah, I get you.
So if Trump knows how to deal with the liberals or the Democrats, but then with
Hi, Spanny.
the
How you doing?
conservative side, here, with if there is just the good possibility to cooperate.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
those both ways, it's win-win for Trump and hopefully for all of us.
Denver International Airport.
But yes, I know somebody here as a child through the CAS was placed by people and who got raped and all that kind of stuff. And then somebody else here who is with CAS, the Canadian CPS thing, they're actually gagged and not allowed to talk about their ongoing stuff with them.
Yeah. We're experiencing that here too.
So that's just stupid because the best thing to do is allow cameras in the courts.
They say it's for protection of the privacy of the mind or protection of blah 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 blah. Oh, there's laws against the only the judge can have a copy of these proceedings. Well, I'm here to
That
tell
is
you, I got a First Amendment right to report criminal activity I see occurring in front of me. I
yeah.
got a First Amendment right to
Yeah,
record any of them
also,
court proceedings.
you should also have the right to record the proceedings for your own, not educational, but for your own documentation.
And I looked into it, and people in America just assume that America or the United States is the only place with a constitution. That's just simply not true.
I believe every place has their own
Every country
similar
has got one.
constitution thing.
Every single one. Even Russia's got one. Even though it's probably like out of use or sitting some, you know what I mean.
I know
But
what you mean.
they gotta have one. They have to have a charter of how they're going to
They
govern.
got to have something that protects laws or rules that protects people from things, from unwanted criminal activity.
India's got one. China's got one. Japan's got one. Yeah. The UK doesn't have a written one, but it's sort of unwritten in different various documents that you can bring up, like the Magna Carta.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, yeah. People would like to learn a lot of this. A lot of this is historical too. It's interesting stuff, man. But I tell you what,
Absolutely.
I'll see what I can do. I think him and Trudeau have had it on the outs lately because it seems that every time he goes to talk to Trudeau, it seems that Trudeau has to have an attitude with him about the tariff. The tariff is the simple tariff that the president laid was whatever you tariff us, we're going to be tariffing you that. So if you want fair and equal open market, you'll be fair and equal and open to us like we will be to you, and everything will be copacetic. And people disagree with that; they wanted more. So here we are.
My understanding is Trump put the tariffs, 25% tariff there because he found things unequal with Canada.
Yeah, that's correct.
That is part of the whole border issue. What they're talking
I'm
about.
also sorry about
and all that. But yeah, I know Trump put it there, but all those, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. It's because they don't understand what's going on. They refuse to see and to acknowledge the truth.
Well, I think most of it's they deal with so many people every day that there's no way one person's going to get to them. You know what I mean? Unless you know what you're doing. it's going to be hard to contact any of them at any given time. But some of them, I mean, there's got to be somebody. There has to be somebody there that will hold them people accountable. And that's the problem that you're seeing, is that there's not.
It's because
That's also the problem that we're having. So.
it's because they're afraid of the government and that the government will retaliate. Which actually, when just after I came to Canada, I said something different than my wife said at the airport there, and they said, "Oh, you make us
Bradson,
due to
attorneys
that,
do
you
have
make
an
us
oath.
feel uncomfortable, and that's why we're retaliating against you, against your freedom of speech."
Right, because they don't want you to speak the truth, because if the truth gets out, then it might lead to their prosecution, and they wouldn't like that.
Exactly, and that's why they're trying doing
Attorney
what they're doing.
generals do take an oath of office, Brabson. They do take an oath of office. In
In
fact, I
Canada,
have the exact oath that they take in the United States anyway.
yeah,
Sorry, I'm answering
in
to the comment
Canada, they
section
take an oath to the Constitution.
of Canada,
I don't
right?
know the judge. I don't know the judge, but definitely the law enforcement.
Yep. Well, if the law enforcement is doing it, you can bet that the judge is doing it.
Yes, and Canada is so similar to the United States that pretty much what's in the United States is in Canada as well.
If they don't have an oath, guess what? They had to swear one to be a public officer, so you can just assume that they
Yeah.
had one and they're obligated to it. Or if they didn't have one, then they need to be arrested. So either way, they need to be arrested if
And
they don't
the
have one.
security guards here swear an oath too.
Not upholding their oaths is a problem.
Yeah. But I can say
if
my
you're in
judge
the
was
United
pretty
States,
much.
the Attorney General of the United States, not of the state. The Attorney General of the United States will go after them for not upholding their oath.
Yes. By the way, they even said to me with a second time if they needed to take me to court that they'd get a bought off judge who would take their bribe money to convict me guilty and make me disappear that way if it's needed. And I'm pretty sure that was during a time in a
The Attorney
courtroom.
Generals have been weaponized in the United States for many years. The Department of Justice that has the Attorney General's office has stated that it's been corrupt for many years. It's not been following the United States Constitution, so it was a problem. Sorry, answering the comment section again. Getting sidebarred. You go ahead.
Accountability. Well,
So you go by the common law, correct?
I'm not sure about that. I can say they say there's a so-called law of nature here, but you have the Constitution, and you have, just like the United States, the laws that with coast cops have to look up, and they also have case law, just like the United States.
Yep, that would be what I'm referring to.
Yeah, it's similar to the
That's
U.S.
the common
only.
law. That's the common law. Your common law country. We
Yeah.
all are, because we sprang from Britain. In the UK, I don't know. I get confused because they incorporated after a while, just like everyone else did, like the United States did. It went from the United States of America Republic to what it is now, which is back to the Republic again, finally.
Exactly.
All right, we got about an hour and 10 minutes left. Anybody else want to come on and bring our next guest on with us?
Anyway, I know so much. Due to that bill of attainder and all that, they labeled me 1066, the cop code, and that means a suspicious person of interest, armed and dangerous.
Interesting. Do they have probable cause or reasonable articulable suspicion to lend them
That
credence
was
to
the
believe that you
attainder
had
thing.
committed some sort of crime or tort?
That was due to the attainder thing, the bill of attainder.
Okay. 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 So
Due
they
to
said
the
because in the nature of our in the nature of whatever we say, we just gonna come take you without any sort of
yeah.
yeah. So that's not upholding the law. So then technically they're in violation of their oath at that point. So I don't know how Canadians will hold them accountable for that, but there's got to be a system.
Well, as I said, I can say they're actually using that or used that to cover up that my unemployment was stolen.
Hmm.
And here in
Do you
Canada,
pay
it
the
was always
government? Do you pay the government regular payments for your kid?
yes. By the way, CPS never took that from
There it
me.
is, folks. Yeah, they're extorting you guys too.
But there's always something going on.
It's the same people.
It is. They're all connected.
Yeah, they're gonna get closed off from the south. This ain't gonna be nice for them.
But yeah, it's the whole thing. They refuse to see the truth. They refuse to acknowledge it. The liberals. Pierre might be open to it, but I believe it would take a lot to convince him. And that is actually, I know that Trump has enough to convince him.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the tough one, man.
It is. But anyway, I'm here to. You guys have my email. Trump will have it soon. I'm expecting. My message to Trump is: if he wants, he can talk to me, hear my full story. Although my full story probably takes a couple of hours, if at least.
let's look up this here. I'm gonna read something for everyone, so that they can understand just how correct you actually are, good sir. If I can find it.
And the thing is, what actually is the problem? What I looked at also up, not only that mass totalitarian mass psychosis, but also the Lucifer effect. The Lucifer effect, and then you have that they tried one with scientists and teachers, and then students with giving electric shock. But another version of that is the Stanford prison experiment.
I'm telling you, man.
That is how a good person just so easily crosses the line and turns bad. Now, the same has happened with CPS, police, you name it. Governments.
Where did it go? It's in here. I know it.
But I can definitely say the Father of Christ absolutely has told me that he wants that bill of attainder thing, that Trudeau package removed.
It would be at Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution that states no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation. They may not grant letters of marque or reprisal. They may not coin money. They may not emit bills of credit or make anything but gold and silver coin a tender and payment of debts. they may not pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contract, or grant any title of nobility.
Yeah.
These provisions protect national powers from state incursion.
But anyway, I know that they've given the attainder to that children's aid, CPS, foster parents to use on anyone they want.
And then it says here, a bill of attainder being a legislative act declaring the guilt of an individual or a group of persons and punishing them without a trial. Only the courts may determine whether one has violated a criminal statute. An ex post facto law declares an act illegal after it has been committed when it was legal when you did it, or increases the punishment for an offense already committed, such as retroactive payment for child support obligations.
Exactly.
Things like
But
that.
I know the Constitution here in Canada is a little bit different than.
It'll be a little bit
you
different,
guys
but
in
it'll
the-
line up. It'll be
It'll
similar.
not be similar. And I noticed that the one thing you found, 666, the Beast, Canada
Yup.
does not have that.
No. '42 United States Code 666A3C. The non-custodial parent's social security number will be provided to the agency. Who is the non-custodial parent? That would be the 20 CFR 422-103D registered property of the Social Security Administration, because
Yes.
Social Security numbers do not identify human beings at 20 CFR 422.107. And it's a violation of my First Amendment right for them to force me to go to a proceeding under the mark of the beast because I'm a Christian.
Exactly. And, by the way, here in Canada, I looked up that the 666, and that actually also allows them here in Canada to look back on the record of what a person as criminal activity has done.
Interesting.
I believe it's a 666 for the United States too, to be able to look back on the criminal activity that a person has done too.
I'm gonna have to look into that. That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yep.
And then they're allowed to use that to prosecute you as well. So
If
that's
you,
what they've been.
if you need to
that-
arrest somebody, you probably ought to make look if it's a federal. I gotta answer this in the comment section. If it's a federal crime, you should probably either call. You're gonna have to make a complaint to the Attorney General, the FBI, or okay. So the Attorney General is an attorney. They're not a cop. They're there to sue. Okay. The cop would be the FBI. Okay. And then the federal marshals who have jurisdiction throughout the country. That's who you call to arrest a federal official. But you're gonna have to be able to prove the crime and don't be making false claims, or they might throw you in jail for that. All right, continue, sir. Sorry.
No, but that's
Just gotta be able
most
to prove the
likely.
claim.
Most likely, they used that on Vinny and all the others as well.
Vinny got hit with a Fourth Amendment denial, and then they denied him his Fourth Amendment right to be secure in his person when they hopped over that counter, and they used excessive force on him, which is I guarantee you is against Maine Police Code.
Absolutely.
I guarantee
they
you, if you
absolutely
look.
used excessive force.
That was absolutely. I'm gonna tase you. I'm gonna tase you. He's not physically attacking you, dude. You don't have the right to tase a man when you got your knee in his back, and that's the second time I seen a cop do it over a family court issue.
And pulling a taser is also the same as pulling a gun.
Can be. It's a little less lethal, but it's still a step up from the danger level of just hand to hand. So yes, it is an excessive use of force. Now, had you pulled out a stick and he said, "I'm going to tase you," that would have been relevant.
Absolutely.
Maybe a knife, a gun. If you pull out a gun and he pulls out his gun, that's proper use of force.
But even if you're just holding a stick and not threatening somebody with
Yes, you have to actually be threatening. Yes,
exactly, and there's the difference there.
that's what they don't get, man.
They don't get that. They're
And
just
it's
all
up to us.
gung-ho.
We as all the people have to stand up for that. I wonder
They're
where
also
everybody went.
triggered.
Y'all in the lobby or something? What's up? Got about an hour left.
I'm in my home now.
I wonder what they were up to.
Well, I thought I heard one of them.
Definitely a duty to resist. Unlawful arrest. Well, here in the United States, a lot of people don't realize this, but we got a Supreme Court case called Bad Elk versus United States that stated when an unlawful arrest occurred, a private citizen had the right to resist the unlawful arrest, even to the point if he thought his life was in danger of taking the officer's life. So they actually defended a dead man's face. I don't know how to explain it. It's a weird one of them weird case law.
Maybe you should do a video on that, Obsidian.
But they have to be a de jure officer, like coming to get you for hurting somebody or something to that effect.
Yes. I don't think they have
See, Canada is supposed to have justice of the peace.
Yes.
But I don't know if you guys ended up repopulating them or what.
Here in Canada, we have the Canadian Constitution Foundation.
There you go.
I know you guys have something like that. Pretty much every country should have something like that too.
Yeah. Yep. That was every government has at one point or another agreed to certain principles that they're not going to hurt the people.
But still,
now the only one that the only few were like Hitler, and then you had Pol Pot, and then you had like people like that, man. Mao, General Mao.
Yeah. All familiar names.
I could say maybe the present day Ukraine situation. I definitely don't condone what Russia has done. But I think the whole United States was sparring with Russia over and over again thing has got to come to an end, man.
It does, and I'm thinking Trump has that thought as well.
Because if that doesn't come to a peaceful conclusion, what's going to end up fucking happening is we're all going to be destroyed.
Well, my idea is why not instead of going to war, just make a technological,
make a better world. It's much simpler. Fight the world's problems together rather than fight each other. It's much simpler.
Exactly.
Okay, keep our sovereignty. We don't have to join some one world government shit. We just got to work together. This is all our planet. We got to protect it.
True enough.
I'd be more worried about outside threats from like meteors or something like that, dude. That's.
I'm not actually worried about media because you'll always have people doing the opposite of putting the truth
That's
out
what we
there
should use
instead
our
of that
nukes for.
corrupt media.
That's what we should use our nukes for if we get a giant asteroid. Seriously. But the thing is, they would have to deliver a payload with a drill on it that drilled it down into the core and then blew it up.
Well,
But it might work. It might work as a defense system for like interplanetary objects.
absolutely. Nukes are perfect for that kind of stuff. They already tried getting one off course. I've seen that.
Mining an asteroid, maybe mining an asteroid, blowing a hole in it so you can go down and collect like metal and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, there's tons of uses that are non-weaponized that we could use for the stuff that are weapons. Seriously.
exactly.
And really, if in this day and age we're so digital, why don't we just have our war in a simulation so nobody gets hurt?
Yeah,
Then we're not losing all these people every year to war and famine because the people ain't out. Look, people need to quit farming and they need to start practicing permaculture. You know what I mean? There's so many different things that we could correct. Like carbon, check this out. Carbon in the atmosphere is one of the biggest threats that people think doesn't exist, but it does exist. But here's the solution.
it does.
Here's a solution. You can remain on fossil fuel because we don't have the battery capacity to make electric cars that are efficient enough, you know what I'm saying, and not hazardous to the environment. Well, here's an idea. You take all of those carbon vehicles, okay? You trap the carbon in a filtration system that captures it. You take all of that gets filtered out of all the cars every year. They bring it back. You make graphene batteries out of that power the next generation of electric-based cars to where you are not mining lithium from the earth. You're reusing the carbon that you would have put in the atmosphere to make batteries for electric-powered cars.
That for one thing, but I know
And
Trump
all
is
the
against.
factories.
I know Trump is against the hydrogen stuff.
Yep, and the filters would be easy, it'd be cheap. We could still continue the oil, not an issue. We got 45 more years of it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I can definitely say the hydrogen is as a burning fuel is better than the carbon stuff.
I can tell you that the United States Patent Office has kept a lot of things suppressed for a very long time.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have went missing and dead because of their inventions.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been censored and been bought out, and the oil companies and all that have been suppressing them.
Well, I can tell you that BlackRock has a hand in about almost anything you can imagine on the planet.
Absolutely.
They shouldn't. No man should have that much management power over fiscal responsibility. Ordinary men and women should be knowing how to fiscally handle their business. They should be able to know how to trade goods and services for things that are of actual monetary value and not something backed by the lost debt of a country that we're trying to eliminate.
Exactly.
That's issued by the Federal Reserve Corporation, okay? That has never really been audited, but by anyone but themselves. That's now being audited. That has a problem with being audited, and you have all these corrupt actors popping out of the woodwork, showing their face because for the past 20, 30, 40, 60, 100, 300 years or whatever, they've been parasites. They've been parasites.
Yes, and staying under the radar until things get bad enough that the auditors start stepping in and all that.
And it's getting to the point now where when anybody speaks up about the corruption, they get death threats. But
They get retaliated against.
it's so much stuff coming to a head right now.
Here in Canada,
this
you
is
have
leading us
auditors
up.
named. You have auditors named True North Transparency, Canada Cop Watch, Auditing Ontario, Mad Lab Press.
I got a
all
little
that
something
kind
for
of
all
stuff.
of my CPS folks tonight, too.
So for those here in Canada, if there's something, I believe Mad Lab Press or True North Transparency did a thing on CPS corruption or missing children.
There you go. I know that there were a group of fathers in the United Kingdom back in the day. The family courts had taken their children, and Stop Kansas had taken their children, and so they went around dressed up as superheroes and messed with the family courts.
Yes. I know I got, by the way, in the past permission from Vinny to put that baby thing on my YouTube site, on my channel. But at that time that I wanted to put it on, I did not have that anymore.
I want you to look up what's going on in Canada about assisted suicide, okay?
I know that's been happening. I've heard that on the news that they put it in. For the really bad cases,
here in the United States, assisted suicide is not ingrained in American tradition, while the right of parents to direct the care, custody, and upbringing of their children is. And that would be under Washington versus Glucksberg.
I would have to say, if somebody's so sick and it's really tormenting them, and it is, they don't have long to live and all that. I know some people should be allowed to end their lives if they're going to die shortly anyway, and
maybe
are in
if they're
pain.
going
Yes,
to die shortly anyway, or they're going to suffer. I get that.
but I mean, for people who are just depressed and want to end their lives, no, I'm against that.
But this is different. This is different. Yeah, this is different. You're right, because it's the way that they apply it makes it apply to many people that it shouldn't apply to. See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
And that bill of attainder, that's up to the people to stand up against that. You got to rally your people together and tell your people that the Canadian government needs to respect the rights of the Canadian people. Because although this may be a parliamentary form of government, it is ultimately the people that makes the country. Doesn't matter where you are. Even the sovereign in United Kingdom, even the sovereign was subject to the law. Not even the sovereign was not. Okay, the law still applied to him in Great Britain. So it can, if it applied to the king, it can surely apply to the parliament.
It applies to everybody.
Yes.
But a lot of people I know, it's just they're afraid to do anything about it, speak up against their government or politicians.
The natural
or
law
whoever.
is based in the value of natural intrinsic human rights and values and respect for another human being, for their rights, for their values, for their cultural beliefs, for their religious beliefs, for their right to protect and defend themselves from any attacker, for their right to bear children.
Exactly.
For their right,
everybody has that and should.
These are intrinsic. These are it's part of being human. They can't take it away. God give it to you. God himself won't take it from you. So if God can't take it from you, then the corrupt agencies and government can't take it from you. But it's up to you to go look through your laws and find that which protects your rights and stand up for yourself. Because if you don't do it, and people like you don't do it, nobody will. Trust me. There might be a few, like people like me will, but there's not a lot of us.
True enough.
Getting bigger though, getting bigger.
Slowly but surely, we are. And the people that are going for our rights and all that. But
So you would say
it's a
that this is a
process.
worldwide issue.
It is. It is. I know Trump wants to do something about it.
I know that
And-
China tried to solve it by putting in a law where you could only have a certain amount of children.
Well, I don't think that is the right thing to do.
Me either. I have the solution. You have to work together for the future of your human offspring. That is the only solution. And it's not up to the government to obligate you to do that.
Yes, the government here in Canada was to rip families apart and communities and that stuff. But you're right, with the solution is to come together.
Yep. The more you break down the family unit, the more you make it so society will collapse.
Exactly.
You get things like higher marriage and divorce rates, higher CPS cases, you get higher court proceedings, you get more conditions of corruption within the judiciary, you get more cases of police officers violating their oath of office, children removed unlawfully, children lost and missing between CPS and adoption, children adopted unlawfully, false accusations in court proceedings to gain custody. You get higher rates of crime due to fatherless and motherless children. You get higher rates of drug abuse. You get higher rates of mental health issues. You get higher, and when you incentivize these systems, when you provide a financial benefit to government to violate the rights and to make more of these cases, the more cases they make, the more money they rake in. It just inflates the system and just escalates the problem. Okay, and then you get more. Listen to this, man. You get more cases of runaway children. You get more cases of children running away from foster care. You get more cases of foreign immigrant children getting trafficked to MS-13. You get more cases of parents losing parental rights erroneously. You get look, check this out. It impacts the education system because then those children are forced into public education, whereas they might choose a private education with their parents. There's it goes into marriage. There's higher divorce rates. There's
Can I show you something else?
it goes
Obsidian?
into the illicit, explicit subject matter industry. Okay, the adult film industry. It goes into them. They get a big old profit from all that.
Absolutely.
It goes into the pockets of bureaucrats. The only solution is for parents to get along and parent their children without the government interference. The only government interference is when they don't want to get along and they want to, play games. Then they get forced to be able to get along. There has to be an equality. There has to be a 50-50, or I call it 100-100. Because let's face it, when it comes to our children, we all put 100% effort in.
Absolutely.
If we're a real parent. And those claims are all backed up by statistics. It also causes gender dysphoria. It also causes destruction of the family unit. It causes loss of family values. It causes higher rates of child molestation, higher rates of child trafficking. It causes higher rates of all sorts of stuff, man. Domestic violence.
All
You could
that
go. It's
abuse stuff.
endless. But if the family courts didn't have their nose in it, and they were a barrier around the outside to contain the parents, to allow the parents a conducive environment to ham it out, we wouldn't have this problem.
No, we wouldn't.
It doesn't even need to be in the hands of judges. It needs to be in the hands of a spot where you come to trade off and you do your thing.
Yeah.
Stop screeching, Kansas. Stop. It's so high pitched. It's like a dog whistle.
Like I say, most things parents should be able to, and children and all that, most parents should be able to hash that out together. Most of their problems and all that.
I call it the best interest of the family standard, and that is that the family unit remain together even if separate. And any government interference trying to interfere with that, that's a clear violation of the right of the family to remain together, at least here in the United States. Go lay down, my dog. But it's a clear violation of the right of parents to resist unlawful interference in the family unit. And here in the United States, we have Article 4, Section 1, that states that the judicial proceedings in one state are applicable in all other states. Okay, and the judicial proceeding I'd be talking about would be that's Duchesne versus Sugarman, which is a federal supplement, so it's a federal district court case. But it talks about the right of the family to resist the coercive interference of the state in the family and private matters, which the states are not allowed to do.
But they're doing it anyway.
But they're doing it anyway, and so that's a problem. And I've come to solve that problem, at least here for the U.S. As I said earlier in this video, child support, you're done. You might as well close your offices, because I got the end of you right on the back of this receipt right here. It's the end of you. You must close all of your offices across the whole country. You're blatantly in contempt. And they can be held in contempt, and anybody helping or supporting them is obstructing the enforcement of peonage, which if the person that they're coming after for the obligation happens to get jailed in the process of, is a life offense for the person jailing that person.
Yes.
And that would be whoever tries to come take any person to jail over child support obligations. An obligation's a debt. Look, our country over here is so far in debt, it is insane. But we're about to climb out of it, man.
Well,
For the first time in United States history, since we've been into the debt pool, have we climbed out of it. We bankrupted like 7 times.
actually,
People say
Canada
the United
is
States
pretty
never
much
went bankrupt. Yes, we have. Several
Canada is
times.
pretty much bankrupt too, up from what they're saying.
Anything that uses fiat paper. If you're not making your own promissory notes backed by gold and silver or goods and services, then I'm sorry, man. If you're running your own business and you're using Federal Reserve notes, that is proper currency. But if you're using Federal Reserve notes and you go work for somebody else, that's debt bondage. So are taxes. You're supposed to be working for yourself. You're not supposed to be working for others. You know,
Exactly.
you might get paid to come help another person out in a joint venture for profit. Okay, which that's an association, is what that is. Association is two or more persons in a joint venture as a business for profit. Yep.
Yes.
And so the homeowners association, when they come down and they here in America, when they come down and they start complaining because, oh, it's against policy to have this or this in your lawn. Well, I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to your association of two or more business persons as a business for profit. Nothing you can say can obligate me to perform commerce with you.
Yeah.
You can't make me buy what you're selling. You know what I'm saying? In a sense,
Makes sense.
That's what you tell them. Yeah. So it's great, man.
I know they
mean,
like forcing people into their homeowner things.
Yeah.
Actually, it's one big scam. Those homeowner things.
It's a big old scam. Yep. But I'm here to say that, man. Yeah, parental rights. I'm sure if you look in Canada, you're going to find court cases that establish some sort of doctrine for that.
There must be something. I know.
There's got to be something. There must be. Okay, if you have any sort of judicial system, it's there somewhere. And in fact, there is in Canada. I happen to have the information on that. Yes, I do. The thing of it is getting it to you. So you're connected with Vinny, right?
Yes.
You send your link to Vinny, and then I'll get with Vinny on that.
Hey, Vinny.
Watch what you're saying when you say it. If you go over and read the actual other chat in here,
Oh, did I mess up?
Go read the private chat and what Darren put in there.
Uh-oh. How does this relate to CPS? A lot of it. Not seeing it.
You don't see the private one?
Okay.
Just little precautions, that's all.
Where at? Which part?
The last stuff at the end there, you'll see. I wrote a little be cautious of thing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna mention the. I'm not gonna mention that which shall not be named. No worries.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I thought you were heading in that direction. I'm like, no, because the minute that word comes out, dude, it's game over.
By the way, have a look at this, guys. That from Jordan Peterson exposes what nobody else will say about Elon Musk. You should actually see that one.
Yeah.
I thought they were buddies.
Yeah, no. Not gonna give you the supposed ban that I also got. Don't worry.
Anyway,
Appreciate that, my man.
Hello to you, Darren.
What happened to my other guests? Where did they go for the night? Did they just like pile out of here?
How are you, Jonathan?
Well, it's finally good for you guys to see me in person, more or less.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. That's interesting.
I know they've been making things difficult for me here.
You both are wealth of knowledge.
But I will definitely say it is for sure that the MK Ultra and Pilgrim are involved. Even Canada knows about the Pilgrim. And have literally said it to me when I didn't know about them.
Yeah. I got some issues with that. Yeah. They don't need to be doing that to people, man.
Hello, Herbert.
As far as CPS, that would be, you have the right under Duchesne versus Sugarman and Article 4, Section 1 of the Constitution to resist unlawful intervention by the state in the family unit. It's also included under Parham versus JR.
Hey, Obsidian. I
Yes.
see that you're lagging out here. Why don't you talk about the void ab initio? I want to hear your sides of the void ab initio.
Okay, so avoid ab initio. Yeah. It goes a little bit like this. Okay. So Marbury versus Madison said an unconstitutional law is void. Norton versus Shelby County says an unconstitutional law is wholly void from the beginning and is of no force and effect, as if it was never signed into law, as if it had never been passed, not when so branded in not necessarily when so branded in an open court of law. And okay, under Miranda versus Arizona, a right cannot be converted into a crime, and under Washington versus Glucksberg and Troxel versus Granville, the care, custody, upbringing, education, and medical, and all that is protected. And then the Article 4, Section 1 is the enabling clause of that. And if you want to go further into child support, you hit them with Holmberg versus Holmberg, Drennan versus Drennan, and there's another one under New York, and then there's Santosky versus Kramer. So an unconstitutional law is void ab initio, is Latin for from the beginning. That means all rendered judgments, decisions, laws, rules, regulations, concepts, duties, customs they're all void if for unconstitutionality on their face, if you can prove it on its face.
And they're not to be adjudicated.
Yes,
That's the difference.
They're of no effect. No court is bound to obey them. No citizens are bound to obey them. No court may enforce them. It's unenforceable. It's void means unenforceable. It means they can't do anything. And also, even furthermore, okay, you can file a 1983 lawsuit, and if they come back telling you can't, Maine versus Thibodeau says that yes, you can. Okay, and then there's also the fact that you don't have to any longer, as of 2023, exhaust all of your administrative remedies to file a 1983 lawsuit against a state official for violating your rights. And void ab initio means from the beginning, so you just treat it as a nullity, like it doesn't exist. If they continue to act upon you in any way, then you can obviously sue on that.
Yes, and I know Canada
It's up
has
to you
their
to
own
enforce it.
version.
The government's not going to
That's
do it
their own void.
automatically.
I know Canada has their own void ab initio.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
what do you know?
Vinny's back.
What do you know about Security Clause 61 of the Magna Carta?
Interesting. I have not read the Magna Carta yet. I know of it though. And I do know that the Second Amendment traces its way all the way back to that.
It states all actions, statutes, and legislative laws as of invocation of Security Clause 61 of Magna Carta 1215 on the 23rd of March 2001. All laws, acts, statutes are no longer or legal force, and wherewith all preliminary governance of agents of the crown are to stand down and consider their oath.
Yeah, that would be your 5 USC 3331. That would be the same thing he's referring to in Britain terms.
Do you understand why I'm kind of saying that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He's basically saying that Britain's got to follow their oath to respect the rights of the people. That's what he's
Yes,
saying. Yeah.
they have to respect the law and their oath.
Because isn't the Magna Carta basically like one of their founding documents for like Great Britain and the EU and all that?
Well, I mean, it's according to what I just seen, I think we're gonna find out some big shit here soon.
Magna Carta signed by King John.
Dang right, Amy White, you dang right. Common law right to resist, set forth in the Supreme Court, bad out, United States.
Yeah, and there's only one person left in that family. Two, actually. And they're both alive.
It's gonna be interesting. I'll be able to make some interesting videos here soon.
Vinny,
I think so, because I think we're
I'd
gonna.
like to send you one of these.
I think we're gonna see it on Easter.
I'm gonna be delving into the CIA reading room.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be too.
Vinny, this is how one of the cigarettes look
I'm
like.
gonna be doing video. I'm gonna be doing videos on it. No need. You just watch the video. I'll even narrate. That's what's up, bro.
Because why? Okay, why would explain this on New York Harbor 2024? There is not a present. This is not a president motorcade. Secret Service and heavily armed police escorts powerful VP from helicopter to limo in New York. The best is yet to come. The king of the world is here. Whoever that moves like the mafia.
What are you reading that from, Vinny?
Justice Real.
Of what? What is it?
Well, it's a post and it says,
Oh yeah, so Magna Carta is basically the Constitution for, or no, the Bill of Rights for.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the it was originated in 1215, and it's been the cornerstone for many documents that throughout the world. But it's definitely the cornerstone of our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and all of that stuff.
well,
Yep, that's where definitely trace our Second Amendment back to that.
This was put out by Q. Q knew evil forces were planning to kill JFK long before the Dallas shooting. They are always ahead of the game.
I always told my dad. I always told him that JFK was killed. I always told him that. Yeah, they killed him, and he was like, "You're full of crap." Yep, I was right.
No, they faked JFK's death, same as Diane and JFK Jr. Learn the art of war. 1. Confuse your enemy.
And I bet they've got their fingers also with this children's stuff.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Always take the high ground. Keep the resources away. Keep the resources away from the main fight, in case you get your troops get taken, so that you don't lose all of your supply.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, bro.
Everything you ever knew was a lie. That's why it is called the Act of 1871. Just in case anyone is confused, there is no election to be overturned. Joe Biden was played by an actor, and President Donald Trump was played by John F. Kennedy Sr., the second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We'll find out.
If true, that's the Antichrist, dog. Nah, dude.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look into that. I'm sorry, Manny. I forgot to look into that for you yet, boss.
There's a lot of stuff here. I mean, it's a lot.
Don't
of
worry, I got computer voodoo.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
all need to do some computer voodoo and start digging.
Well, I got a little something. Don't worry about that.
Anyway, what I can say is pretty much, as far as I know, nobody can or nobody is allowed to have my file in their hands or even see it.
Yeah.
It's all classified.
That's it. And here in the U.S., they do that too. And what it is it's a violation of your First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
You know? You got the right to privacy, not them having the right to privacy to violate you. It's not how that works. You know?
No, but they're all trying, you can't do this, or the freedom of information stuff. We can't do that. There's probably private information in there. If a person wants their own information,
the fact that they just grabbed you up and carted you off somewhere under guise of legal authority, like, that's crazy.
they haven't done that with me, but they tried.
Even if they just
But
tried.
the thing is,
that's crazy.
they tried to do that, only, as I said, I told them about my stolen EI, and then they had to go after that instead of carting me off. I flipped the script. Because the ones that are involved, now they're actually, they refused to also to give me the case number so I can go after legal or monetary compensation from the person that stole my EI. So they're still protecting him as we speak.
Yeah, so
And
we got about
that
17
makes them
minutes
guilty
left
of
here.
helping a criminal.
Definitely conspiracy.
Yeah.
That
And
might
they
be a
did it
crime in your
without even
country.
knowing.
Look it up.
Like I say, they did it without actually even knowing at the beginning, because my EI had been stolen in 2016, and at the end of 2016 was the first attainder thing with me. End of 2019 was the second time. And I believe the beginning of this year, they probably made it into the third time without even telling me.
Now, do they do the all caps thing in your country? Where
Here
they
in
send you
Canada-
mail with letters, where your name's in all capital letters?
No, they don't.
Interesting. I want everybody to think about that. Now, why would the United States ask for mail with all capital letters? That don't make no sense.
I can say certain things here do it with all caps and others don't.
Okay, yeah, we're kind of like that. Usually stuff
here, because it's typed, they did it in all caps from Ontario thing. And then Here's,
One thing here, I'll
thanks
tell
to
you, we
also,
see a lot of your guys' coins here.
I believe you. The whole point is,
I like them. They're better than ours for some reason.
I could say
Real
Canada. I could say here in Canada, I know that they don't right away take away the children's benefits. They either leave it with one parent deliberately while the other parent's taking care of the children, just to mess things up.
I'm starting to wonder. I just posted the link in the group.
42 United States Code 66683C notice. It's AC. Yep, it's A3C. Notice of the non-custodial parent social security account number. Yep. And so under 20 CFR 422 .103D Code of Federal Regulations, the Social Security Administration owns the Social Security number, and at 422.107 of the same code, it states that Social Security numbers are not a form of identification for human beings. Therefore, the non-custodial parent is the Social Security Administration. That would be correct.
Wow.
Yep. So the one who owes child support is the Social Security Administration.
So it's not even us.
It's not even us.
Yeah.
That's called the mistaken the identity of the obligor technique.
Which isn't that what they were trying to do away with?
No.
Yes.
What do you mean?
I think you need to go back and read some of the executive orders.
Which
I
one?
think that one is in there.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, it is.
Which one?
Hold on. Give me a minute. Talk for a minute.
Okay. So the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 20, is the Social Security Code. If you go there right now, still up. Title 42 is the Social Security Code for enforcement of child support. Still up, because I just took a screenshot of it a little while ago because I'm using it in my next video. That's why I know it's current. In other words, you're not obligated to pay anything. Plus, even if you were said obligor, they couldn't hold you for it because of 42 USC 1994. Well, bam. That right there is the bowling ball hitting the pins, fellers.
Yes.
And I got tons of them. I got tons of them for the United States. They cannot come at me. I do have some information on Canada because I also was looking that up in Canada because I was looking up. Somebody said that Canada didn't have a constitution. I was like,
Yes.
I think you're full of crap, and I'm gonna go look it up. And I did, and I found out yes, they do. And I was like, you're lying. So I went over and I looked in Canada, and there's a guy. He used to be in Canada. His name. He's part of the free man movement. I don't know. I don't know if that's where the sovereign citizen. I don't know if that's the equivalent to calling somebody that or something. But basically, he knew about the common law in Canada, and that would be a great resource for you to check out. So I'll give that resource to Vinny because I know how to get to it. It's hard to explain, but
it is.
It'll just be a link where you hit it and it takes you right to it. So,
Well, he's got Executive Order 14215, which is ensuring accountability for all agencies. Let's see.
They're not done changing it yet. It's still in escrow until April.
Um, pause Foreign Corruption Practice Act enforcement to further American economic and national security. That is 14209. 14208, ending procurement force use of paper straw. You know what he's talking about there?
Yep.
Actually, he's actually talking about paper straws, like the kind you drink with.
Wrong.
Yeah, that's
Better read that again.
No, I went in and I read what he was talking about. Go in and read it.
I did read it.
I'll show you what I'm talking about later.
He's talking about something that's attached to us.
He's not talking about the straw man.
Oh, yes, he is. You better go
No.
read that again.
That's not what he's talking about. And I already killed the straw man argument. All right. I already killed that argument dead. It does exist. It is there. It is a fiction of law. It is required for you to interact with the government due to the fact of the case. It was a prize case. It was in Admiralty, and it was Penhallow versus Jones administrators. Basically, what can be surmised from that case is that all government corporations are artificial persons. They can only interact with other artificial persons, and the contract between them, they can't really get involved with natural people, right? Because they couldn't sue for the prize case because the person they were trying to sue was the wrong person. They tried to sue the natural living person when it was the corporation that caused the damage. Yes, sir. I couldn't find that for a while, but it took me a minute. But they have to have the straw man. You have to have joinder. You have to agree to be the legal fiction that they're talking to. If the cops show up and ask you for identification, that's why. They're asking for your straw man, and they're asking for you to agree to be that straw man so then they can have authority over you. I'm sorry, I don't answer questions. What's your name and badge number?
exactly. I believe Lackluster is a good one for that stuff.
Yep, correct. But yeah, I don't answer questions. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm right. It's True North Transparency that did the foster care CAS stuff. I was just looking at my channel, if I was right, that True North Transparency did a video on that.
I'm opening up on my YouTube channel all of my techniques that I'm gathering for everybody here in the United States. And these will go into foster care, CPS, IRS, child support, adoption services. It'll go into all sorts of stuff, labor union, work complaints. I'm going to get into everything. It seems to me our government has a problem with spending, and it doesn't understand where the corruption's at. Let me point it out for him. I'll go through all titles of the United States, all 50 titles of the United States Code, including the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
I'll find all elements of unconstitutionality, and I'll highlight them with a highlighter, and I'll give it to Congress, and I'll tell them fix it. Yes, sir. Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
That's what should also be done here too, in Canada. Too much bureaucracy as well.
Yes, bloated. We got about 5 minutes left here, so.
And as I mentioned before, guys, and also for the people in the chat, keep fighting. Don't give up.
Never give up. Never surrender.
You have to keep on going.
Our children are our future, man.
And and God, He is with everyone who's trying to do the right thing.
All right, guys.
Good job, Amy. You're good over in the comments section. Doing a good job. Yes, you're correct about everything you're saying right now.
That's not Amy. That's Naylor.
Amy White?
Yeah, that's Naylor.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever that is, you're doing great. And then Athenia, okay, it would depend on the jurisdiction. Okay, state. Are they in the state jurisdiction or are they in the federal? That would be the question. If they're in the state jurisdiction, the federal judge can come after them for that. If they're in the federal jurisdiction, the Supreme Court can come after them for that. If the Supreme Court fails to act on the federal court, you can have the Department of Justice come after them for that. If the Supreme Court fails to act on the lower court, yeah, you can have the Supreme Court of the state rule against the Supreme Court of the United States for not following its oath. There's all sorts of different stuff you can do.
Yes. And part of my story, by the way, that I haven't mentioned is when I was going at a certain date, and that was one of the last days I had to go to court. There was, when I was getting in front of the court, there was the smell of sulfur, brimstone, and dead meat. And I literally
sounds like
really
a mason.
did smell that. No, not a mason. It was not a person. And then into the lobby where the elevators are.
Yeah, I know what you're
there,
talking about. Yeah.
Going, but
Whoa, they're right.
You're talking about the otherworldly evil beings.
Yeah,
that are out there.
absolutely. I smelled that.
Yeah,
smell.
I know exactly. Yep.
So they were right about something, though. Okay.
And there was a special room in the courtroom where people can do a little conference before going into the court itself. And
Does that sound familiar, man?
Listen to this, though. Franklin D. Roosevelt, okay, from 1937 to 1945 was his executive orders, right? Henry S. Truman from 1945 to 1953. Dwight D. Eisenhower from 1953 to 1961. Those were his. John F. Kennedy, 1961 to 1963. Lyndon B. Johnson, 63 to 69. Richard Nixon, 69 to 74. Gerald R. Ford, 74 to 77. Jim Carter, 77 to 81. Ronald Reagan, 81 to 89. George Bush, 89 to 1993. Clinton, 93 to 2001. George W. Bush, 2001 to 2009. Barack Obama, 2009 to 2017. Then the first initial Donald Trump was 2017 to 2021. Then Joseph R. Biden, 2021 to 2025. And then executive orders
Hi,
is
Tammy.
Donald J. Trump right now. Black.
Anyway.
Right there. Black.
I'll get into
And
that.
see all the other ones.
I'll get into that in a little bit, Vinny. I'll get into that with you. But we're almost out of time here. I just did want to say that so the thing here is the state court is not going to listen to you when you go down to the state court and you're in their jurisdiction. Because if you're in their jurisdiction, you got to go by their rules. And their rules are not going to let you go. But this will be 2 hours, folks. I'm going to head on out of here.
Well, all the best to you guys, and we'll keep in touch.
Peace to you.
And everyone. Okay, keep on the good fight.
Eviction notice served, we bending iron will. Paper trails burning, fire sparks the night. Shadow lurking, leeches bout to flee the fight. Polluted waters run deep, but we purify. Cleaning out the sludge, leaving no alibis. Obsidian sword swing, heads roll clean. This a reckoning, felt but never seen. We rise, fists high, no justice, no peace. Cleaning out the swamps, unleashing the beast. You can't buy the future, leave the kids alone. Truth prevails with force, we reclaim the throne. Corruption's clock ticking, hear the final toll. No handouts, no buyouts, we devour the mole. Seeds of revolution buried deep within the night. Darkness on the horizon, but we the burning light. But we the burning light. We rise, fists high, no justice, no peace. Cleaning out the swamps, unleashing the beast. You can't buy the future, leave the kids alone. Truth prevails with force, we reclaim the throne. Corruption's clock ticking, hear the final toll. No handouts, no buyouts, we devoured the mole. Seeds of revolution buried deep within the night. Darkness on the horizon, but we the burning light. Light, 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 light. Corruption's clock ticking, hear the final toll. No handouts, no buyouts, we devoured the mole. Seeds of revolution buried deep within the night. Darkness on the horizon, but we the burning light.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look?